So Jesse, what's up, dude? Welcome to the show. I'll get that right for you.
Oh, thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to be here. Excited to chat with you, man.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I'm fired up. So primarily, I was talking to you a bit about this beforehand. I wanted to have you on specifically go over the fights this weekend, debrief them from your perspective, my perspective for my tournament. And what was cool I found with your story, which we can get into it shortly in due time, is you had never competed in anything, and then your first ever competition thing where you had an opponent or a team against you and a ref was an MMA fight. And then, like, no sports, nothing, if I'm wrong. And we will get there, and you can add context when we get there. But hearing that and then having, I don't know, at least a year or something between that to winning in, like, dominant fashion against an opponent again. So having not changed gyms, not really doing anything from the outside very drastic. So I do want to get to that. But first, I'd like to kind of start, maybe you can go back. Where's a good place to start for you? Maybe back in like high school days, stuff like that. Take me through kind of like your experience in high school to kind of where we are now, like how we got into like almost how we met, and then we can kind of go full circle.
Okay, so we're starting off in high school. I was I wouldn't say a degenerate, but pretty darn close. I was the kid that didn't play sports or anything.
Yeah.
Was just super into bodybuilding and smoking pot. And I guess like to go back a little bit more, I had a rougher upbringing. And so when I got into high school, I just kind of had this mentality of like, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to put my full potential into it. Mm-hmm. So I like grasped it on to bodybuilding, and that was pretty much like a lot of my high school life was just lifting weights and like smoking weed with my buddies. I didn't party. Yeah. I didn't drink. So like I was super disciplined other than the fact that I smoked a lot of weed. And then so what brought me into like MMA was that I was bodybuilding for 7 years, and then I started obviously taking performance enhancing drugs, which caused me to have like an enlarged heart.
How old were you when you started?
Steroids or
yeah. I was. Let's go both actually.
Lifting weights. I was 13, so I'd met my dad, and he told me I was like fat and shit, and it kind of like really messed.
So you hadn't met him before?
I met him when I was a kid, and then him and my mom split, and he left and had like another family and stuff. So when he came back, my dad was like kind of like a friend more or less than like a dad figure kind of thing, which I enjoy. Yeah. But with that being said, he had called me he made me lift up my shirt, and I was
dude.
Yeah, I was like a tubby 13-year-old that had
tough.
Yeah, I smoked weed at that age, so I was like smoking weed and chilling with my friends and eating a bunch of food, and I gained a bunch of weight. And then so when that happened, it made me incredibly insecure. So I started like, I'm gonna lift weights and get super jacked. Yeah. So I was 13. I'd lift weights. Well, I did yoga and like push-ups and stuff forever. And then I bought like a gym set and started lifting every day. And then it like turned into me going into gyms. And then I started like eating like a bodybuilder and just like enjoying the process. Because at the time also, I guess, is the only thing I could control was like the way I could like shape my body. Because a lot of stuff was unstable at home.
Right.
And unstable everywhere else, but the one thing I could control was like manipulating my own body.
Right. So you needed something to like take control of.
Yeah, and bodybuilding did it for me, and I loved it. It boosted my ego, stroked my ego really hard. And then by the time I was like 15, 16, that was it. I was like, I'm going to be a competitive bodybuilder, sorry. And then obviously like the next step is to take steroids. Yeah. Which I furthered and like took the step. Yeah. Actually, like my first shot I was like 19 outside a World Gym in the parking lot. My buddy just jabbed a needle right in my butt and was like, here you go. And about 2 years on and off them, my heart ended up enlarging, and I almost I was stage 3 hypertensive for months on end and had to be on like blood pressure medication. Yeah. And then so I was like, what's another like crazy sport I could do? And MMA
Yeah.
And then trained at Team Shredder, which is like kind of a meathead gym.
Mhm.
So I didn't like, I don't know, we got good training in, but nothing like at Troop, and
Yeah.
that's where I had met you, man.
Nice.
And yeah,
Sick.
yeah, bro.
Nice. So, tell me, because I'm curious, what were, you said you're probably what, about not 19, you said, 19 when you started steroids, right? I'm curious, what was the best and worst thing about doing it?
The best thing obviously is like the crazy like gains you get,
Yeah.
and like you're pretty much constantly high all the time. Like
What?
as much as everyone like says it's not a drug, it very much is a drug because your confidence is so high due to the fact of like your levels of testosterone being so high and
Right.
stuff, right?
What?
So, and like the worst part would be like for me, it would have been like my psychotic tendencies of anger outburst and like my heart almost exploding.
Jeez. When would you, like, give me an example of like a kind of over the top anger outburst? Like, it could be something that either, like, you start yelling at a traffic light for not changing quick enough.
There's so many, man.
One that maybe doesn't paint you in a bad light, just one that's like a little like, huh, really? Weird.
So this might still paint me as a bad light, but whatever.
He's like, well,
We'll send it.
I'm giving you a chance. You're like, no.
It's on the lesser end. It's on the lesser
Sick. Oh, thank goodness.
So like I used to I'm not trying to like stroke my own ego here,
Sure.
but I used to be like 19 and I was deadlifting. I remember this specifically. I was deadlifting. I did 405 for a set of like 15 to 20 reps. So near the end, obviously, like I'm just picking it up and slamming it back down, and I'm on all the steroids, so like I'm just fucking brr, you know what I mean? Animalistic mentality going on, and I hear some guy at the end of my set like snickering and laughing, and then I see all my buddies talking, and I'm like, so I walk up to my buddies, I'm like, who the fuck was laughing at me? You know what I mean? Insecure juice head, and my buddies are like, oh, it was us, man. Don't worry about it, nah. But they ended up had told my girlfriend at the time who it was. So and then I seen my like little girlfriend go over and start chatting with this guy, and then I seen them like altercating. Well, like, what is my specialty? Because this guy was like a 4-year-old man, like, and then now he's like kind of getting like aggressive or whatever. Like he's speaking in not a nice tone to my old lady at the time, and I was like, oh, now it's on. So I like walked right up to him and like right in front of like this is like the World Gym. Staff.
Okay.
I was like right here, and I like started yelling in his face and telling him I'm gonna beat the shit out of him and stuff. And I tried to grab him by the gym bag and drag him outside of the gym so I could fucking
amazing.
punch him repeatedly. Just didn't want to do it in the gym.
How considerate of you.
Yeah, man. It's not a.
Hey, man, he started it.
Yeah, well,
he started it. That's all I'm hearing.
That's why steroids are not good for you, and don't do them.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Amazing. Nice, dude. Yeah, I think that's I was curious what your take on that was, because I didn't want to I was like I have like a question mark next to the word steroids, and then I have the word maybe.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
totally
I'm
cool,
curious, I am curious, but I was wondering because I don't know. It depends. I know some people have had a very, very bad experiences with them, and they prefer just to kind of like forget about that. So it's cool that you you wouldn't recommend doing them though.
No, not like, okay, so there's like TRT dosing, and then there's doing steroids at a young age for like performance enhancing reasons. Yeah. And I don't think like.
Yeah, you fit that category.
Yeah, the risks don't outweigh the reward, let's say. Because like you can't do any steroids in any professional sports or athleticism. Bodybuilding, you're gonna die young, and like you have to have like crazy genetics for it, and like just wait till you're older to make the decision. Because like if you want me to be like completely 100% real, when I was 19, like I had erectile dysfunction due to steroids, and like coming off
at 19.
At 19, man.
Oh no.
But obviously it comes back, but like. Yeah, man, that's a side effect of doing steroids, guys. So.
At 19, no, Jesus. Man.
Yeah, imagine being 19 years old and not being able to perform, man.
Jeez.
Because you wanted to be this big bodybuilder.
Yeah, take blood from everywhere else. Eh?
Yeah.
Jeez, man, that's crazy. So, you were what, 22 when you started like training to fight?
Yeah, about then, yeah.
Okay. How far back then do we have to go to, like, when was your first, like, Because it doesn't sound like, especially from the steroids and stuff like that, and like that story you gave as an example, it doesn't sound like you ever shied away from fighting per se. But I was wondering if you've ever like when was the first time you like faced it?
Oh, I started like when was my first fight?
Yeah, like first fighting.
Oh man, like
back in the day.
Like I can't even remember, but like I remember like my first real good scrap was with actually like my best friend, and like we busted each other right open. And like the in the school,
yeah, like parking lot or something.
Yeah, well, like no, the outside area, man. I think it was like grade 1, man.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like I remember some kid threw sand in my face, and I literally ran up and soccer kicked him in the face in middle school and stuff. Yeah, man.
Nice.
I came from like a rougher background, so I never shied away from fighting. I always loved the adrenaline and the rush I got from fighting.
Yeah.
And that obviously like progressed as I got older into like doing kind of like
focusing in on it and training and stuff.
Yeah, and bodybuilding because I was
there's a control aspect there to it.
Yeah.
Nice. So shifting in, what'd you do like after high school and stuff? Like what was that graduation period like? For you?
I got expelled from my high school, and I was working full time and going to like an optionary school. I was working full time going to high school.
Yeah.
From like so I'd go to school, and then I'd work full time. I'd go to the gym after school, and then I'd go to Montana's from 4 to 12 at night, and then take the city bus home to my apartment at the time. So like I was like I guess you could say like living life as an adult male at like 17.
Yeah, you took a lot of responsibility on.
Yeah. Well, I moved out.
Sorry, you were about to answer that question.
I moved out when I was 13 years old.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Take me through that if you don't mind. That's interesting.
What
like forced you, and then kind of how'd you go about doing that?
So I had a single parent home or whatever, and at the time there was addictions going on at my house, and some abuse and stuff.
Yeah.
So by the time I was like 13, I was selling drugs and doing a lot of bad things, man. And I just didn't want to be at my house anymore because it was just like a very toxic environment at the time. And I chose to like go live on my buddy's couches, and actually stayed with my buddy Maverick for a bit, and then moved in with a girlfriend, and kind of like got apartments from there.
Nice. Dude, that's crazy to me that you can make such a like big, pretty much responsible, but some would argue irresponsible decision at 13, like that. Oh man, I need to change that. Like, what do you think happened where you're like, okay, I need to, like, there's a switch that flipped inside. You're like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Well, I just
like
constant stress at home and stuff like that, right? It's just and like when you're young, an environment that's like in a high stress all the time, you don't grow up like other kids. Like you don't grow up like I was a 17-year-old kid at 13 years old. You know what I mean? Like I knew what life was when I was a young kid because of the things I saw, and because
you'd been exposed to a lot more.
Yeah, and that's all it is life exposure, man, and it ends up like making you grow up faster than you have to, really.
Right.
It's like the big saying for it.
Jeez.
Yeah, man.
That's cool, because I think that can like that can really make or break.
Yes. Yeah, like, bro.
100%.
That's spot on.
And I think that what's crazy about that to me too is, would you say you attribute you pretty much majority of the time? I mean, I've seen you like tired or like gassed out and stuff, but never just like upset or in a bad mood. You always seem very positive and and maybe not even optimistic, but just always in a good mood. So I want to know if that kind of is attributed to like, oh, I've seen and experienced these really hard, like shitty things that, oh, just because I'm working outside in the cold or, you know, I'm waking up early, it's like, this is actually great.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's almost a better lifestyle you're living.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's like how like when I was a kid, life was always so stressful and like unstable and like messed up, and I had no control over it, right? Like I couldn't do much as a 13-year-old kid or whatever. Yeah. You can't be like, oh, I'm gonna go get a job and just start like moving forward with life. So like there was all these predictable things. Like I was always stressed as a kid, and always had adult things to deal with.
Right.
So like if I felt like if I sat there and was sad, then I would have like spiraled out of control of like a depression and stuff like that. So I never allowed myself to be sad. And one of my mom's boyfriends also used to always tell me like life's not fair as a young kid. And that like just really resonated with me. And he used to tell me all the time, he's like, there's kids starving in Africa, man. Get over it, bro. Like life's not that bad.
Yeah.
And like, so when you're told that as a kid, it's like, fuck, like life's like now as an adult, right? You're like, anything that happens throughout your day, you're like, life's not that bad, man. It's sick. Like I'm working a job that I love. I get to train every morning. I'm like, I get to like make all my own decisions and like take control of the situation. So like, what do I have to be upset about? Like, what is there? You know what I mean? I have a warm place to sleep. Yeah. I have food.
Yeah, you have food, friends, you're healthy.
Yeah, I'm healthy, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like all these things are just like super cool because a lot of those things I didn't have like as a kid growing up. So it was just, it's really hard to like to let yourself get sad when you know that like other people are starving and they're still happy and they're making their life like they're making life great, but you're over here complaining that you don't make enough money or that gas prices are too high or this or that, you know what I mean? Like it's just
like figure it out.
I like to say it's a first world fucking problem, man. You know what I mean? Like your cell phone breaks, bro. Get bent. Big deal.
Get bent. Buddy.
You're gonna cry? You're gonna cry about it, bro? There's a lot of things to cry about, man. You know?
Oh man, I love it. So what I found too, to your point, there's I've always found that I can judge somebody based on their problems. And one thing specifically I found too was to your point with like the starving kids in Africa and that being like a very, very like easy, good example, right? When I was in South America, or when I was in 2018 in May for a couple weeks, I did a service trip to Ecuador's rainforest. So it's about 8 hours south of the capital. So the capital is on the equator line, right? Okay. 8 hours south of that, that's where we went. In like this rainforest in the middle of nowhere. I can find it one day and just send you a photo, and it's just trees and then this little river. And it's like just off to the side of it where we stayed. Crazy isolated. But, crazy time. But what happened is, each day would kind of be the first from about 8:39 to about 1-2 o'clock. We would spend the day doing whatever labor work we were doing to kind of build the project or work towards one of the projects that we were doing in the community, right? So then the rest of the day from about 1-2 to like to about 5-6 when dinner time was. So the rest 4 hours were like a cultural activity, so where we got to experience what the locals in this community do for like for health, for education, what's it called, for like water, food, how they get all these things, right? So we got each day different exposure to different things, whether it be like how much effort they need to go through or how long it takes to go from like getting them just any form of not so much food but medication and just the lack thereof it down there. But what the biggest thing too for me was we had to do this activity where we were at this one place and they're like, hey, you have this barrel and you guys need to get in groups of 2 and you each get a bucket and you need to fill up the water from the river and you're going to walk from this to this spot. And we're like, okay, and dump the bucket in the river, or from the river water, carry it with your partner to dump it in the bucket, right? And it was basically this giant mesh piece over this big blue garbage bin looking thing, old beat up thing, and we were just dumping it, and it would just, that's how they would end up drinking that water, and that's how like we would get them water. But it was a 4-kilometer walk each direction. Yeah. So we would go and we would walk the 4K with our big bamboo staff, about 8-10 feet long. So you have it on your shoulder, I have it on my shoulder behind you, and in the middle is a bucket full of water. And then we're just marching 4K to get there with the water full. And we're like, all right, great. And then we have to do it again and again because it's like that's our water source.
Yeah, that's intense, bro.
We have it so good here. And so I like that that's how, but that perspective changed with me seeing all that and going, oh, that's something really cool that I don't have to worry about water. I don't have to worry about this or that. It's like, and you get to see that all these people that are going through this or going through that. Like, it allows you to be that, like, light that a lot of people don't get. And then what's really cool to me too with your case is you're able to bring that to everybody else around you, right?
Yeah.
Because you get, I'm sure people are like, how are you in a good mood? It's this. How are you in a good mood? It's this cold. Oh, you're working this hard or training at this time, whatever. How are you always in a good mood? So it's really cool to see that, like, that perspective has, like, shifted you into who you are and stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
Absolutely.
Actually, yeah, man. It's just that I feel like it's an easier way to live life if you can just conquer your brain on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can allow it. And another like really cool fact actually on this topic is that your brain actually wants to focus on negative.
Oh, I've noticed. Yeah.
It's like I don't know how like
Crazy.
Yeah, it's a fact, bro. Your brain wants. That's why if you ever notice like if you're in a group of a circle of people,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people end up like not trash talking but talking shit.
Yeah, talking a bit for sure.
And more so like talking bad than good because
Yeah.
it's easier, man. Your brain wants to flow there. So if you can like keep nourishing that positive side, it just it makes life so much more like fun. You know what I mean?
It does for sure. Yeah.
But I understand that some people like they have mental health issues and they can't.
It's a bit harder.
Yeah, it's a bit harder.
To get out of that hole. Yeah.
Yeah, I just from the way I got raised and stuff, I never allowed myself to get that sad. I always tried to view like the most positive situation, and like as an adult now, you're always like taking an L is a learning lesson, man.
Yeah.
And if you don't look at taking losses as a learning experience, you're fucking up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're really gonna like, because everything goes wrong. Like nothing ever goes to plan, ever. And so it's just easier if you have that.
Yeah.
if you already know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. So how did you get into taking MMA seriously and training at, because you're saying Team Shredder, it wasn't as serious as, training now, stuff like that, obviously, just with the structure and Mitch's coaching is crazy. So how, take me through that transition of like, or even just that timeline of like, oh, you know what, I want to take this seriously.
Okay. Well, actually it was, I wanted to like, I left, like bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And I was like heavily invested into it. But I guess it's really how I got like so into MMA was that like I just transferred the intensity that I brought to working out to MMA. So like my first day of MMA, I was like, I want to fight. Like I don't want to play or anything. But I also thought Team Shredder was like a really good gym because that's where Mitch had trained back in the day, right? So I was like, oh, they have a good reputation. Yeah. My mom actually trained there when she was when I was younger and stuff. So I just was like, oh, I'll go there.
Yeah.
And then I just the gym kind of ended up like falling apart, and then COVID happened. Well, COVID happened and like the gym fell apart from like COVID and all this stuff, right? And then I was just working out, man, because at the time I was engaged with a woman with kids and stuff. So I took a back step on MMA, and I was like, I'm just gonna chill and like be a dad and stuff, and but then as soon as that ended, I was right back on like my high horse of I want to be a fighter again. You know what I mean? Because I believe in life, you shouldn't half-ass anything.
No, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation's for cowards.
Yes, man. Yeah. Yes. So it's like
Lone survivor.
If you're gonna be a carpenter,
why not be the best carpenter?
Why not be the best carpenter? If you're gonna try MMA, why not? And you like it, why not try to be the best MMA? Like best MMA fighter there is, you know what I mean? What's the point? Because then you never really know what your full potential was,
right?
Within that element or within that sport or anything, you know what I mean?
Smart.
And it's fucking weird because I see some people and they come to the gym and they half-ass a bunch of shit, and I'm like, man, like why come then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not gonna dump everything you have on the mats, like why be here? Well, it's a different mentality, I guess.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
For me, it's like, why are you even doing it then?
Yeah.
If you're not trying, you know what I mean? If you're not putting your 110%, what's the point? What do you think you're gonna get out of the? What's the greater outcome? I guess maybe it's just exercise and passing the time, but
I think so. I think to your point, there's it's all about, like you said, like what the goal is, like what your focus is.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, are you at a point where you can focus in on it and make something of it? Yeah. But I also think you're applying that, if you apply that to everything, like you're not saying you should only do one thing ever. You're saying whatever you do, just do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I guess it's like I only really like fell in love with bodybuilding, and now I really fell in love with MMA.
Yeah.
So like obviously I do other things, like I rock climb,
Yeah.
I snowboard, I drive motorcycles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a couple things I do, but obviously like I'm not gonna be like a pro motocross driver or anything. You know what I mean?
see what you mean. Yeah.
I can't. I snowboard. I'm like.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested into it. It's more of like I guess
see what you mean, yeah.
more of a hobby thing for me. So I guess I'm eating my own words right now, but I do like when I'm on the hill, I take minimal breaks.
Yeah.
I send everything. Like I'll hit a 20-foot jump like within my first 2 years of snowboarding.
Yeah.
Like sending's the best way to do it.
I think too what you're saying, that I'm gathering is it's not quite obsessive. Like I think there's people who are obsessed with something where it's like all the time that's what they're thinking of.
Yeah.
But I think it's very important to do two things. Do what you're doing in the first sense of everything I'm going to do, I'm going to try my best.
Yeah.
To be not terrible at it, right? To like, let's see this through.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, at least I know I tried my best.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Versus, we're going to do it. We're going to maybe, dude, I have this issue with people who do podcasts that if they're not doing it like at least consistently, like every couple weeks or like every month or two, they post a new one. Hey guys, welcome back. See, it bugs me, Jesse. Like I need to see the consistency, and it bugs me when I have to miss a training session, or I have to do this, or I have to do that, and something that falls, I'm like, I can't get my consistency. That's what the great thing about the morning is. If I didn't have that, it'd be a lot tougher, because like nobody is bothering me, nobody's asking, work doesn't start until like after.
Yeah.
So everything in life for me takes place after I'm done training. It's like, it allows you to focus in on it a bit better. And I go to sleep a bit later, but that's not a big deal. I think the time of day is important. But I think I've had this discussion with people who say, and I think you could attribute to this, people who say, I don't have time to do this.
That's bullshit.
Thank you. So let's extrapolate this a bit, if you don't mind. Because not even so much relying on like just training and stuff, because you mentioned it too when you're like, when like you were being a father. Yeah. Right? So in that time frame, were you able to, like you said, you took a back step from the MMA, but you were still working out and stuff?
I was still training. So I was still training, but I would only train like obviously being in a relationship, there's compromise and all this and that. And I didn't have a dad growing up, so I wanted to be like, try to be there as much as I could, right?
Makes sense.
So I would only train like a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday versus in like an hour and a half a session, right?
Instead of like 11 times a week like now.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have this time now.
Might as well.
Yeah, why not? What else am I going to do? Sit at home and watch movies?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's what I waste my time.
Dude, I've explained this with like my old business partner, this concept. I'll send you the video after because this guy explains it really well. He does it with dominoes, where he basically maps out that he's like, okay, this is from, let's mark our days from 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. or 12 p.m. So I asked him, I was like, dude, what does your day look like? Like, take me through, right? And he's like, the kids come in my bed at 7. Because his argument was like, I don't have time. You don't understand because you don't have kids. That's why I'm getting your 2 cents about it. So the thing is kids go in his bed at 7, wake him up, whatever. He drops them off at the bus at 8:40 and then goes to work for 9. Fine. Gets home at 5, whatever. Does kids off the bus, whatever. All this stuff. He puts the kids to bed. Let's call it 8, 8:30, 9 latest. And then I'm like, what do you do from 9 to 11? Like when you go basically 11, 10:30, 11. Okay, so let's call it 10:30. We'll be generous for you. Yeah. You have an hour and a half. What do you do in that hour and a half? I'll chill with the wife, do this, that, and the. I'm like, okay. But I doubt it. It's like, okay, so if you're just watching a movie in that time, what if we take that hour and a half, right? Let's say you go to bed. So you go and kids go to bed 8:30, 9. Let's say you go to bed at 10. Now you take this 10 to 11 or 11:30. What if you put that at 5:30 or 6 a.m.?
100%, man.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, because you can't, because there are people who can make it happen, who could get that. And I was like, I don't need to train 11 times a week. But training, like you said, like making the compromise, and now I find I wouldn't be able to do. Have to be at the gym now.
Yeah.
Right. If we didn't have the morning, or if we didn't use that. So I think getting up early is a cheat code, dude.
Oh yeah.
But no excuses.
100% it's a cheat code. So yeah, what was going on actually is COVID had happened, and then there was like no more night classes, so I was just going. I went back to like not my bodybuilding, but like more like kettlebell exercises at the gym 3 times a week kind of thing, or at my house because I can't go without training.
I don't blame you.
Super important for your mental health, and like you're like there's just so many endorphins that are released during any kind of training that like it's like a cheat code to staying happy. And then, but yeah, so me and the ex ended up agreeing that we would go in the mornings.
Nice.
So she ended up, I would go Monday morning at 5:30 a.m. And then COVID happened again. And then Mitch was posting after that the 5:30 a.m. classes. And I'm like, oh, like Team Shredder isn't a thing anymore. I'm like, fucking, why don't I message Mitch and maybe he'll let me come to like the morning classes.
Yeah, see what's up.
And thankful as fuck he did let me because there's like a whole like 6-month probation period on the
man.
Normally.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he doesn't if it's brand new, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's like, no, if you haven't trained or you're not, no. It's crazy to me. I love it. It's for the best, man. Like, geez, are you kidding? There's some people I drill with even now, and I'm like, they won't pay attention. They don't know how to react. They won't have the starting positions. So I'm like, so if he's like, okay, start front headlock, and then you're going to work to this. All right, you're going to sit through. You're like, what? But we can go right now and start that.
Yeah, 100%.
No problem. Thought once, didn't need to see it. We need that.
That and also the seriousness. Like, there's a difference between a recreational training room and a competitive training room because people tend to get like more or less insulted when you're going really hard or you dumped them on their head or like stuff like that where like all our reactions are good. Like we're not trying to hurt each other, but we're also applying really good technique.
It's competitive.
It's competitive as fuck. Yeah, and like not everybody wants that, you know what I mean?
No, there's some days I'm like, I don't know if I want it. And then I get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
After warm up.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do to wake up at fucking 4:30 in the morning to get to the gym for 5:30 to literally punch each other in the face or grapple. Like grappling is one of the most
exhausting
mentally breaking down things you can. Yeah, man. I thought I was a big tough guy when I used to be 240 and I showed up at the gym and got my ass handed to me, man, like really bad, bro.
And wrestling, I think, too. And that was one thing I'm really, really grateful for this morning class. Because kind of what, like, you guys were doing that before. Like, there was Tuesday, Thursday gi classes with, I think it was Ryan?
There was a couple, there was
a black belt, though.
A bald guy.
Aaron's
Aaron's
a fucking dog, man. That dude's tough. But he's really, really good. And I really liked his teaching style. So I would show up in the mornings. And then he just wasn't able to make it happen for personal reasons. And so seeing kind of like, I was there one morning and nobody showed up. And then House was like, dude, like, come train. Like, yeah, we're just doing nogi stuff.
Yeah.
Like, for sure, bro. And so, yeah, I ended up doing that. And then eventually I was like, yo, can I just... And then Troy messaged me and was like, dude, start coming in the mornings. And then Mitch was like, dude, you gonna start coming in the mornings? Like, make it a thing. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, remember when you first started?
Yeah. It was cool because you guys had, like, heavy wrestling. But that was what I knew I needed to work on because I had done, like, the bottom jiu-jitsu game. And I was like, this is... No, I liked it, but what I'm really grateful for is I have submissions.
Oh,
like,
dude.
Countless, dude, from a lot of positions. I have, like, arm triangles, all this stuff, rear naked chokes, but, like, I could switch from back to side to I have, like, countless submissions and different, I have, like, leg entries and all that, so I have, like, jiu-jitsu stuff if we're really being, like, technical with, like, separating the martial arts, but then the wrestling, I was like, this is something I'm lacking and I want to be better at. But seeing this past weekend, that's what the two, like, brought together. It's like, oh... I was able to take them down, get to their back, position control, and then finish a triangle. Yeah. Which is, like, amazing. So I was like, I got the submissions in, but had it not been for the wrestling, would have been bad.
Yeah, dude. I with my training, it's just when I go to competitions, it's wrestle and control the entire time, and 100%. Then some's just coach preaches it all the time. Pin to it, and people get so uncomfortable in a pin that they give you a sub.
It's true.
I don't ever chase subs.
They panic.
Yeah,
they'll give them to you.
Yeah, literally they will, man, for out of uncomfortableness.
Get off me.
Yeah, break it.
Every single time. Or pop in for head and arm choke or something, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's awesome. So, how long into training before you had your first fight?
I think I was training with Mitch for 8 months, and like my striking wasn't that great. Like it wasn't. I don't think I was bad, and the way I was training, I trained twice a day for months on end. You know what I mean? I was dedicated. I was bugging Mitch consistently to get me a fight because in my head I was like, oh, it's just a fight. Like it's just another fight. Like I'm just gonna walk in here, we're gonna bang, bro, and that's gonna be it. But with like the competitive edge to it, and like people being there, and like knowing that you're going to fight, and cutting weight and everything, like all these things, man, it really takes a toll on like your adrenaline system, like going up and down, and like just the way your brain processes it. Because every other fight I've ever been in is like boom, boom, we're throwing hands.
Yeah.
It's not like this long thought process thing where
3
like
weeks before you,
and you know this guy is like the guy across from you is also training to inflict the most amount of pain on you, and you're doing that, and you're locking each other in a cage and you're fighting, you know, right? So it was just, it was 8 months, man. 8 months of training.
Jeez. Nice.
Yeah.
So before that, you had never like competed with like a ref or an opponent?
Not at all.
Okay. So pick up where we kind of started at the beginning of the episode. Now we can go into it a bit. Take me through like that first fight. What happened? Like that experience, and then we can kind of go to where we were last weekend.
Okay, so the first fight, I'd never cut that much weight in my life. Like I'm a heavier set guy.
What'd you weigh? What'd you have to get to?
I ended up having to get down to 145, and I walk around very comfortably at like 185 with like still a 6-pack.
Jesus, it's like a lean 185. Yeah,
like a leanish, like like I mean compared to the average guy, like I'd be very lean, but compared to like an actual physical,
like person who intends to be lean,
is no, I'm not lean, but with that being said, that played a huge toll on it, and man, the adrenaline dump is a real thing. So like competing is like really messed up on like your mental, because like you're thinking about like every scenario playing out, right? And I didn't think that, like, I wasn't scared at all. Like my first fight, I wasn't scared, I wasn't nervous.
There wasn't fear or anything.
But as soon as I showed up to the venue, everything started hitting me. So then my adrenaline started doing this. Because like I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, I got this guy, he's fuck all. I'm just gonna run through him. That's the idea. That was my, like, I pep talked myself the whole time. Like I didn't want to think about it. I knew I was training hard. I knew I was doing good in the training room, so I figured it would just like immediately translate onto like the big stage, you know what I mean? But it didn't, man. It didn't. I remember I was so nervous and so scared, like right before my fight, and I had like, and my adrenaline was literally going up and down. Like I was downstairs not doing anything, and I was like hyperventilating. So like I was draining myself before I even like fought. Jeez, and like that had like a huge outcome, because I literally I don't even really remember, man, but I guess I kind of do. I was there with Mitch, and like I was just nervous and scared, and I was like, this is happening, you know, you're gonna do good, man, you're gonna do good. That's what I was telling myself. But and then like I walked in the cage and I seen Buddy, and I was like, I got this. And then when we touched up gloves, he crossed me. And like punches to my face never bugged me. I have a pretty good chin. Yeah. But I ended up like trying to shoot for a takedown, and you know, training with me, like I'm pretty relentless and like a go hard, like
you're getting that takedown.
Yeah, and like
it's just a matter of if like it's gonna be right away or in 5 seconds.
Yeah, and like my energy never really dies down. But like here, I shot for a takedown, dude, and I had no gas.
You just couldn't go forward.
I couldn't go forward, and then we got into a clinch. He hit me with a couple good knees. We broke, man, and you can see it in like my fight video. My like spirit was broken because I had no energy. I tried to throw a punch, and it was just like this.
Just sloppy.
Weak, sloppy, like no punch. And then I tried to just like bulldog him again, but with no energy. Oh. And he kneed me to my liver, and that was the fight. 45 seconds, man. Got TKO'd out of there. Like I felt so embarrassed, man. And like, I can imagine. I was like, man, like. Mitch put all this work into me, and like all my teammates were hyped for me, and like I have my family watching back home, and my whole life I was like a big tough guy, right? So like that was
goes against your identity a little bit.
Oh yeah, man. I was just like, what the fuck just happened? So like,
That's crazy.
Yeah, after that it was hard for me to like consistently show up to training and stuff. I never stopped, but the mental warfare there was extreme, man.
So I want to dive into this a bit. So what was crazy to me, I want to relate to that with this like this past weekend, right? So the goal with it for me, before I ask this question, I wanted to have matches, right? That was my goal. I wanted to get like time competing, because I'm that pressure. And I remember looking back at my buddy who was sitting in the coach's chair this past weekend. I looked at him, I was like, this right now is why I'm here I want to get used to this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I see my opponent, so I know he's going to show up. I see both of our names on the little plasma screen, right? And I see the ref. We're here. This is it. I see his coaches, I see him, he sees me, he sees me, see him, right? So I'm like, amazing. So I'm like, that feeling right there, I'm like, you don't get that elsewhere, right? No. So I'm like, it's like, oh, when you're in the cage or you're walking down those stairs, right, at that venue where there's not the octagon, but the ring, and you're walking down, it's like, that feeling isn't emulated, right? So no. I'm standing there looking at it, I'm like, I can see the ref, I see everything, I see my name, I see him. Okay, I'm like, this is what I have to get used to. I'm like, right here. So I was like, it was cool. I was like taken out of it. But I have my match in the gi, right? So I want to do gi and no gi, just like put, worst case scenario, I get 2 matches.
That's madness, I'm just saying.
So I took Buddy on in the gi, and I was matched up against the same guy for gi and no gi, right? So I was like, the gi is going to set the tone for this next no gi match. had more of an expectation on myself for the no-gi, right? Obviously, I just focus more on it, and it's a different style. So I was like, oh, but I've trained in the gi for X amount of years. I should be fine. So I go, and I was just like a step behind. I don't know if I didn't warm up or whatnot, but I felt slow. I felt like a step behind, and everything he did, he had an answer for, and then I didn't have an answer for him. So I was like, he's getting defeated, he was beating me, and then my leg got caught, and I turned my foot in on his knee, and the ref DQ'd me. He was winning on points before that. So had the time gone out, with like the 2 minutes left that there was, I was down enough that it was like I had to pull something out of my ass, and I couldn't, because the foot lock from the bottom X guard was that was my Hail Mary attempt. And so I was just fighting it. I wasn't really thinking about it. Foot got caught. I was like, yeah, it was a weird entry, but I had it tight, and I was like, okay, he's not giving it. And then I was pretty beat up, so there was nobody there, right? So I spent from about 1 o'clock, 1:30 to about 3 for about an hour and a half of just like by myself, just in my head, like, okay, I have to face this guy again. He got the better of me here. And I was like, yeah, it got dark. I was like, I'm gonna let everybody down. Like, what's the point? Like people, and I was talking to a good friend of mine about this the other day on Monday, after training when we were cold plunging, he was like, if somebody invested time, whether it be training partners to get you ready, Mitch, like you said, for you, like put all this time in, family watching or family knowing you're going, right? People know you're going, they invest in you, whether it be like through money or time or like reps on the mat, right? Helping you get prepared, right? Whether it's directly or indirectly with money or like just skill set or like, I get treatment, that's, so whatever it is, you want to perform well, to not, and whether because you won't tell me this or not, and I won't tell you this or not, win or lose, but when you lost, I'm sure, because I felt this way after the gi loss, I was just like, well, what's the point of doing no gi now? Because like, it's the same guy, right? So it's like, well, I would feel like I'm letting those people down if I lose, or if I don't at least come back with something, right? Some people say, oh, it's about the experience, it's about, you learn from your loss. I'm like, yeah, it's all well and good to say, and it sounds fun to like justify losing, but you let people down, or you feel like you let people down, right? In that scenario, whether it's like, oh, you lose or win, dude, I still care about you the same. I still like put the same amount of effort into like helping us each grow our skill set in training the next day as I would the day before, right? Win or lose. And vice versa, right? I imagine it's like, it doesn't matter if I win, you're still gonna like, treat me the same. Doesn't matter.
100%, man.
But I'd still feel like I let you guys down as teammates.
Yeah, that's tough. It's definitely an emotion that you get, and I honestly was so embarrassed, bro, when I lost, and I felt like I like repeatedly said sorry to coach and everybody that was there because
Yeah.
I felt like I had let them down 100%.
Tough.
So I could definitely relate to what you're saying, man.
It's brutal, man.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's 100% real.
I think I think too. There's something to be said about the pressure.
Oh.
You get to experience, because that pressure, and I'll send it to you after. But there's not a book, a movie. A friend of mine. She's on the show. Her name's on here somewhere. Her name's Nina. I'll give a shout out to her because she's amazing. She's currently. She did Olympic trials for swimming for like 4 different events or something like that. And yeah, she's like,
crazy.
Yeah, she's like she's doing her master's in like Florida State or University of Florida Gators, something. Yeah, whatever. Or University of Gainesville. Yeah, but University of Florida in Gainesville, doesn't matter. Semantics. So
Yeah, we're good.
what basically she recommended this movie called or this docu-series called like The Playbook.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think you get a kick out of it. Specifically the Doc Rivers episode where he talks about pressure as a privilege, about how like he coached the Boston Celtics, right, when they did their like however many championships in a row, and he talked a lot about like it's a coach's way of like life, or a coach's like philosophy to life. And he had a handful of different things, but the biggest thing to performing that he talked about was like pressure being a privilege. It's like you should, that pressure you felt like this time around or last time around, right, where it's, oh, I trained so hard, I work so hard, we make all these sacrifices, like, we probably don't get enough sleep, we probably overtrain, probably under recover, all these things are eating, all these like nights that I've been like, nah, I'm not gonna go out with you guys, like type thing, right, just to like, oh, I want to go back to sleep because it's for the greater good, right, for the big picture. And he talks a lot about the pressure being like, we worked that hard and made all those sacrifices, that pressure is earned.
100%.
That's a privilege the privilege to get to experience that, right? It's a privilege to fight at that level, or it's a privilege to fight or compete at that spot. So it's really, really, yeah, it's cool, and it's something, yeah, I recommend to everybody.
Yeah,
sure.
I'll give it a watch, man, because that sounds super neat. And it is, man, it is a privilege, because like for an MMA fight, let's say like you have to cut I had to cut 40 pounds.
How long did you have to cut that?
It took me like 3 months. Like this prep I did 36 pounds in 27 days.
Oh, it's not as bad.
No.
It's not too bad. Yeah, and you probably have more experience. Well, you had more experience.
And I knew what I was going to feel like, because you don't feel too good, man.
No.
But yeah, that pressure is definitely earned, man.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Nice. So take me through what was the big difference maker? Because what I noticed between your first fight and your last fight is people were coming up to the gym talking, like they were in the gym, we were waiting for gi class, and people were asking you about the fight, you were telling people about the fight, right? And then this fight, I was like, dude, like I didn't know you're on the card, man. Like I knew, but it was like I was a handful of people that knew, and there wasn't many people. Like there's teammates, coaches, maybe the odd work colleague or something, or parent, but
yeah, no, man, I kept it super on the down low, because I felt like last time I was like telling everybody and posting all about it, and I like put all this pressure on myself, and I felt like it was unnecessary pressure that I didn't want to like, and I also like I hated going back to the gym and talking about my loss, like I didn't like it.
Hey Jesse, how'd the fight go?
Oh yeah, I actually shit the bed and got fucked up in 45 seconds, guys. So, like I didn't like that, man. So this time I felt like, and like I didn't smack talk last time. I was just like, probably like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like overcompensating for like my lack of experience competing. That I was like, I'm just gonna walk through this guy.
Yeah.
And this time I just like I felt better to just keep it like pretty much not private, but pretty much private.
Pretty well, yeah.
I didn't want to tell anybody till I came home with a win.
Hell yeah.
And if I didn't win, well then nobody even knew anyways.
Yeah, smart.
You know what I mean?
I feel that added pressure that you just didn't put on, like, is very, very, it was helpful for the stress. Because then, like you said, less people will let down. Whether you would have let them down or whether we'd feel that way or not is a different thing. You're still going to feel like you let people down.
100%. 100%. I just, I didn't want any of that. And this camp was, a lot better, man. And I felt a lot more confident, and like I felt very confident in grappling last fight, but I didn't feel as confident with my striking.
You did a bunch of grappling tournaments in between, eh?
Yeah, and in between I had competed, because like I remember my first competition, man, I was so nervous. I was so nervous again, and like there's like PTSD of like you're gonna lose again, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you come off a loss, it's always like you're just gonna lose. And I went to 3 competitions and subbed every single one of my opponents.
Yeah.
And under like I think my longest
That's
match
quick.
was like 3-4 minutes.
Hilarious. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it like kind of gave me a little bit of a
Let's go.
confidence.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Let's fucking go.
Gave me a little bit of confidence. And I was doing better sparring like with my teammates and not being so much of like a meathead, because like my A game is to like bite down and just brawl with people. And like Mitch has been like really pressing it on me that like I have to keep my hands up and come in and out and in and out. And I've been getting like really good in like the uncomfortable spots in training where like last training camp it was just like all A game shit. Like, you know, like I'm just a brawler and that's how it's gonna go. But I like explored the horizons and I like it a lot more, man.
Nice. I think I was doing some research and prep for this episode, and I think there's a stat somewhere, I'll find it and I'm gonna butcher it, but it was like 94th on Smooth Comp or whatever, or I don't know if it was on Smooth Comp the thing, but something like or in the country or something, I don't know, but it was like 95th fastest submission in like, I don't know if it was for the division or if it was just in male or what, but it was like 95th fastest or 95th ranked in the, I don't know, it was like 90 something. I was like, why is this a statistic? This is hilarious. I'll find it and send it to you. I have it somewhere on my desktop as a tab.
That people sub people?
Yeah, I think it was like 95th fastest submission.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, some random 90 something number for what have you. It could be like fastest submission as a wipe, I don't know. Or it could be like shortest match, I don't know what it was. Or like most amount of submissions, like for like in fewest amount of matches, I don't know. But yeah, for most amount of submissions, I think, I don't know, some like
That's
absurd number of an absurd statistics. And I was like, what? It's like, oh, they have the 79.5 longest reach. It's like, what? So it was a really, really oddly specific stat, and I thought you'd get a kick out of it. I'll find it and send you a photo tonight. But it was ridiculous. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, man, I love competing now. Like, I love that fucking feeling I get, that fucking adrenaline, man. You get a bunch of adrenaline before you compete, and if you can channel your George St. Pierre talks about it. If you can channel that like fear and adrenaline, you're almost like, it's like a Super Saiyan mode.
How do you do that?
Through breathing.
Yeah.
Through breathing. I'm also Christian, so like God helps me a lot with like the struggles.
Yeah.
So that like I really rely on him, and like just breathing, man, and staying calm, like keeping your heart rate low till it's go time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't like the day that I'm about to fight. Like I fucking hate it. Like I
dread that day.
Yeah, I just dread it. And then, but like once it's time to go, it's time to go. And like I'm having the time of my life. Like in the ring as well. Like fighting's so much fun to me. So, but yeah, man, it's channeling that adrenaline almost gives you like I don't know, like an upgrade on your strength, your like precision, because now you can like see the strikes coming faster, and like you feel stronger because you have all this adrenaline and you're like controlling it properly. So I think that was a big part that I learned. And like I honestly, like right before my fight, when I was getting my hands wrapped, I looked at coach and I was like, man, like I'm scared, bro. And he's like, you're supposed to be, man. Like he's like, just don't start hyperventilating. He's like, if you're up here and we're warming up and you're breathing heavy, just know like you need to start focusing on your breathing. And that's what Mitch told me. He's like, just focus on your breath, bro, and you're gonna do great. He's like, you're gonna do good this time. You know what I mean? He's like, just focus on your breathing. And that's what I did. And also I just repeatedly watched Mike Tyson like videos of him back in like his prime, talking like all his little pep talks after his fight about like how he's like just how he like wants to hurt people and like, you know what I mean, that I found like just really put me in the zone to just like go in there and hurt somebody, man.
Nice. Right on.
Because I think it like most of fighting is a mental state, man. Because like imagine you like you're having like an off day and you're trying to go in a ring and like somebody's trying to like bring all this pain to you, and you're trying to bring all this pain, and like you don't want to be there.
No.
You know what I mean? Like imagine that, you don't want to be there. Like how bad is it going to be? Because, like, you're not going to pull out, are you? Like,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, you're already at the venue and stuff, but you don't really
Yeah.
want to be there deep down. Like,
Yeah, there's a
that-
bit of you, eh?
Yeah.
Every time.
yeah, well,
Jeez.
I love it.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're feeling that, man, like, that'll fuck your fight up.
Interesting.
Or, like, your jiu-jitsu match or
Yeah.
anything. Like, you just, I don't know, it's like a lot of it, I think, like, yeah, a lot of it is mental, man. Not getting emotional, not letting, like, things,
Tough.
yeah, control you.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to do. That's easier said than done for sure.
Well, you want something that I really focus on, and like I think this really like in circles with mental health
Yeah.
is the only thing you can control on this entire earth, man. Your entire life is your reaction to action
100%.
and your brain processing.
Yeah.
Like, and if you can't fucking control that, man, like what can you control?
Yeah. I read this really interesting YouTube comment on a video. That buddy was like, we train our bodies so we can't be attacked by others, and we train our minds so we can't be attacked by ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true, man.
I was like, Jesus. That was a YouTube comment.
You're your own
Yeah,
worst enemy
crazy.
sometimes, man.
How do you 100% agree with you, and I want to dive into it now. We have a bit of time to do it. Do you what does Jesse do? Like, what do you do for your like mental health? We've touched on it a little bit in the beginning, but do you have like a
I just man, I train a lot.
yeah.
And I eat really healthy, which I think are two
That's huge.
major components that people like. Everybody is so focused on food tasting good and eating all these different foods and stuff. Like, look at a lion, look at a tiger, look at any other mammal on this planet, man. Like, they don't eat for pleasure.
No.
They don't eat for pleasure. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I get it. It gives you this
Yeah.
rush of dopamine to have this bite of this donut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, if you can't say no to that, like, what can you say no to? You know what I mean? And I think that because in your stomach you have microbiomes. I'm not a doctor, guys. So, like, please take this gently. Like, please.
Jesse starts saying microbiome.
But
We're in for it. He's like, just to be
to be clear, guys, I'm not a doctor. I'm not that educated, but I can tell you how I feel. And but every time you eat sugar or like anything like that, your body has to process it, and like these microbiomes are directly connected to your brain. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, if you eat a bunch of garbage all the time, you're gonna feel like shit. Like,
Makes sense.
You're
Yeah.
you're gonna feel like shit, and like you're gonna be low energied, right? Because what is the one thing that gives you energy other than sleep? It's food and water.
Food and water, yeah.
But like, I'm a tradesman. So like most guys, they drink energy drinks, they slam 4 monsters a day and eat a pack of beef jerky and then complain about feeling like shit all the time. Well, I wonder why you're fucking depressed, bro. And I wonder,
What do you eat for lunch?
I eat chicken and rice.
Sweet. What do you eat for dinner?
Chicken and rice.
What do you eat for breakfast?
I usually have plain Greek yogurt
Nice.
with stevia
Just add a little bit
after
of that.
training.
After training, you don't eat nothing before training. Do
No,
you?
I
Me
don't.
neither.
I
Not even a
don't-
coffee, dude.
No, I
Water,
take pre-workout
maybe. Yeah.
every morning, yeah. But no, I believe that way back in the day, people didn't wake up and have breakfast. Like, it's breaking a fast.
Yeah.
I think you should
Break
work.
fast, yeah.
I think you should work a little bit before you just devour calories.
Yeah, at least spend an hour doing something.
Yeah, man. Like, you had to go hunt and forage your food before. Like, what do you think that you did that you deserve this food?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But people also like eat for pleasure and stuff, which is
No, it was weird though. It's weird to me that Mitch doesn't have chickens.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's that guy. He has the space, man. I'm pissed. Because I was like, where do you live? Can't you have chickens? And I was like, wait a minute. Wait, why doesn't...
Yeah,
Because I was like, I'd have chickens. I'd put them in here.
I would have chicken. That's not a bad idea.
That's not the worst idea I've ever had. That's not... Alright, that might be better than having this.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that's
So I think
yeah, it's important.
those two huge components, and like to go back on my childhood, man, I was raised by a single mother that like struggled with alcoholism.
Yeah.
But my mom, man, like she worked nonstop, bro.
Yeah.
Like she'd pull 18-hour shifts, like every other day to like she raised 3 kids or 2 kids
Jesus.
on fucking $14 an hour by herself. You know what I mean?
That's huge, yeah.
So I grew up with a very strong work ethic, and
Yeah, you had that example.
yeah, my mom definitely set a good example of like hard work and like just, and like my mom was always like, she was always working or doing that, and like I don't know, it yeah, that helps me stay positive throughout my days, man, because like I'm 25, my mom had me at 23, and like she was by herself, like raising 2 kids, and like she did it, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And I'm just gonna put this out as my mom has been sober for a year. Super cool.
Let's go, man. Strongest good for her.
Yeah, man. Like
That's
she's
sick.
like a
That's
super,
cool.
like one of the strongest people I know, man.
That's especially now.
Yeah,
like,
man.
She's probably 40s.
Yeah, bro.
Like yeah.
Yeah, she
That's
just
crazy, and to make such a big jump too. Good for her.
Yeah, man.
Wow,
and like
congrats.
that just. There's just so much positive in the world that like and like you could really like pull any positivity out of your day, so why go negative about it?
Why focus on it? That's crazy that like that amount of self-awareness was able, like you were able to kind of understand it at such a young age. That's really cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I like that. Do you have I think too with that, do you have something that kind of you see every day or you do every day that like allows you to like when I guess what I'm asking is when you see yourself thinking or negative thoughts coming into your brain, like what do you do, or do you're able to shut them down more because you're always just eating better and training?
I don't know, man. Like obviously I have my good days and my bad days.
Yeah.
Me, it's really nowadays it's God gets me through all like my bad stuff. I put like the full armor of God on, right? And that really helps me, because before God, I was always a positive dude, but I was super angry and like a very destructive person. Yeah. Very, very destructive. So once, like, I'm going to say, yeah, God took that away from me. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much just like all this positiveness. And like before that, even like, I don't know if you ever read my knuckles, it says swim or sink or swim, whatever, however you want to say it. But when I got these when I was 18, and to me it was a symbol, like, because my whole life it was either like, let's picture life. You're in the middle of the fucking ocean. Mm-hmm. Okay. You don't see any land around. Mm-hmm. But if you stop swimming, right? Like it's shitty no matter what. Like it's shitty. But if you stop swimming, you're gonna sink. You're gonna start sinking, right?
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Like so, you just constantly have to move forward, because if you stop moving forward, you're sinking. You get what I mean? Yeah. And I take that principle into life. So, like, I'm always constantly, like, driving for better or driving to, like, just get through my day, like... Yeah. Because, like, like, I don't know, for me, there's no other perspective to be seen or to, like...
Ah, interesting, yeah.
It's like you're either gonna swim and you're gonna keep doing, like, the hard shit, or you're gonna sink. You know what I mean? It's so easy to, like, sink below the line of like poverty or depression, or like to get yourself into this little rut, and then you have to like work so hard to get out of this rut. So why not just like try to stay above it?
Jeez, tough, eh?
Yeah, man. Because life's hard. Like life's hard no matter like what way you look at it. Like life's always gonna be a challenge.
We're all gonna have problems.
Yeah, man. And like I always like look around, man, and like look at all the cars that are going by, and like every single person there has their own bullshit going on.
100%. 100%, yeah.
Like what's so different about you? Like why do you have to sit there and like complain and like talk about it, and then just smile and get through it, man? It's just another day. Like wake up and you restart tomorrow. You know? I
think what's cool is you had like as rough of an upbringing as you had, you were able to kind of take the good example that your mother set, like the good of it.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like you could have focused on, I'm sure, the bad examples that were there.
Yeah.
But you took the good ones that she displayed, not the bad ones.
Never, bro.
It's crazy. And then you took the good ones of, you're like, oh, I'm gonna control myself and I'm gonna go do this thing, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's compounding, and now I'm like used to living out. And now I moved out when I'm young, and I'm trying to like always working and always doing this and always working twice as hard as everybody else. I think that's really cool, man. It's cool that like you were able to, especially at a young age, be aware of this is something that I can't be doing, and then you've only just compounded it over time. Because like you're right, we're all gonna eventually, like we're all gonna suffer, we're all gonna struggle, we're all gonna experience that, and it's just a matter of, you know, like you said, figuring it out, controlling it, and like being aware that that's a thing that you're experiencing. Like you don't have to be negative, and you can only control like you said, how we react, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is internally too. Like I'll catch myself thinking, and then I'll often be like, nope, give them the benefit of the doubt, and then I'll kind of just be okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, nah, give them the benefit of the doubt, except in traffic.
Yeah, traffic's a rough.
Yeah, traffic's a
rough
bad
one.
example of, if it weren't for traffic, I'd be like a very happy person. I'm pretty good every other time, and I'm just, sometimes I'm just more chill than other times, but usually, yeah, it's pretty good. I want to kind of ask you, so what, if you met somebody, so say somebody listened to the podcast and they were in like your shoes when they were younger, right? Or when you were younger, they're in those shoes, similar shoes, right? Not the most ideal upbringing for what the situation could be, right? What would you tell them? What advice would you give a younger you?
Well, I always liked hanging out with older gentlemen when I was, I don't know, that might sound weird, but like I always hung out with guys that were in like their 30s, 40s when I was like 15, 14. Yeah. So I got a lot of perspective, and one guy told me, he said, because I was complaining about like my life and just like the shit, and just like, man, like play the best like hand you can with the cards you were dealt in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it really stuck with me, man, because it's like, yeah, you were dealt shitty cards at the start, but where can you go with them? What can you do with them? Because a lot of people, I would definitely tell myself this, my younger self, this is, they have a victim mentality, man, and you gotta get out of that. This poor me bullshit is the worst thing you'll ever fucking do.
Reach, dude.
I'm telling you, man, like. If you're gonna sit there and be like, oh well, I don't like, just
poor me, it's okay to
poor
feel
me,
shitty,
like I don't have food, or I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're gonna drown yourself in self-pity, and you're gonna have to soothe using some sort of substance.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times. Pills, alcohol, like you're gonna turn to something to substitute that pain that you've pretty much created your, like, not yourself, like, obviously there's external things going on, but, like...
But you get to control how you react, so it's for the most part, kind of your fault.
Yeah, man, like, it's just don't have a victim mentality in life, man, because everybody can be a victim, man. Everybody can be a victim.
Oh, yeah. Every day, I'm sure there's, like, countless times both of us could be like, poor me. When was the last time you think you felt that way? Like, oh, poor me, or, like, a victim state, or, like, oh, man, I just lost.
Anytime I'm like sad and I start like thinking about like just shitty shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I'll get in like this spiral effect of like, oh well, this is fucked, and I'm like, oh well, this is fucked. I'm like, this is fucking fucked, and it's coming, and like,
why is it getting worse?
Yeah, and like, but I can't remember the last time I really did that, because another really good thing to say to the young people is be present, man. Don't think about your past. Don't think about your future, man. Enjoy your journey, man, because you're gonna fucking rush through life, and you're gonna get to where you want to be, and it's the journey that got you there. That's the experience that you missed, man.
I found this a bit cheesy to say sometimes, but it's like, be present because today is a gift. And I'm
it is, man. It is, man. You could have died in your sleep last night. You get hit on a car, like one of my favorite things is like I bought a 1000 crotch rocket for my first street bike. And everyone's like, you're gonna fucking die, as if you bought a street bike, you're gonna die. Bro, you can die walking outside in Canada right now, slipping and hitting your head on the ice.
Yeah.
Like my mom works with people that have actually had brain injuries from that exact thing happening. Yeah. So you're gonna tell me not to live my life because this can happen. Well, this can happen walking down the street, man.
Yeah.
So
might as well just
send it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
send
man.
it, baby.
Send it, man.
Let's go. Oh, that's awesome. What is let's focus on the fighting. Advice for like a young fighter or somebody who's looking to get into it. Like somebody from like a Gen Pop. What would you recommend to them? Like fighting specific advice, if you will.
Don't be soft. Don't be soft. Try hard.
Clip it.
Just to put everything into it, man. Like don't half-ass fighting. Like if that's something you want, it's not an easy sport. So like just think about if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it is like I'm not saying that like the sport itself is a dangerous sport, because hockey and football to me are way worse.
Yeah, there's a handful that are more risk averse.
Yeah, but it's just like, don't half-ass it, man. Like, if you're gonna try it, and you're gonna fall in love with the sport, man. It's such a beautiful art. It's a chess game, and it's not about who's bigger or stronger or anything. It's about who puts more time on the mats.
That's it.
Dedication will beat everybody and everything, man. The time that you put in is gonna beat everybody. So if you want to be great at something, fighting's a pretty cool thing to be great at.
Yeah.
Because like your confidence level is high. Like when I was bodybuilding and like I looked fucking amazing all the time or whatever, like I was juiced to the gills. I was the most insecure compared to now because I really didn't know how to handle situations. And fighting teaches you a lot about handling situations in life, no matter what happens, because it's such like a stressful pressure environment that like it builds you as a person.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's really advice, but yeah.
No, it's perfect. That's cool. That's a cool thing that you learn from it. To kind of conclude, we touched on a lot of great things. Do you have any any message or anything, last thing, point, lesson, story, thing you want to share before we kind of peace out?
Yeah, just don't give up on your goals, guys, because anybody can make it, man. Anybody can make it. You just got to work hard and stay true to yourself. Don't change for anybody, you know. Because, like, yeah, I came off a huge loss. And a year later, I came back and, like, absolutely dominant performance. Like, I didn't get hit once in my fight, man.
Hilarious.
Like, I literally mauled the guy for 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And I made him give up. And in an area that I was, like, the least confident in. Like, grappling, I'm way more confident in. And I decided to stand up and strike with the guy the entire time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
And, yeah, you get growth out of uncomfortableness, guys. You're not growing unless you're uncomfortable. So stay uncomfortable.
Nice, dude. Right on. I appreciate not so much just even your time today, but I appreciate that. I appreciate your attitude at the gym always. You're never like angry or over emotional. So like, you know, if Jesse's not around, I don't feel like I have to walk on eggshells. You know, like it's nice, dude. It's really nice. You're a very good person to be around. Fucking brutal training partner in the best way, right? Because I'm like, fuck yeah, I want you fresh, dog. Let's go, right? Once you're fresh or gassed out, it doesn't matter. It's going to be fun. So I really appreciate that. I love, like, you bring the competition out of me when we go, which is awesome. Yeah, you force me not to be passive or lazy, which I really appreciate. So yeah, man, I appreciate you as a training partner. I appreciate you as a friend. I appreciate you as a guest today, brother. So much love. I really appreciate it. And yeah, man, where can people find you?
Hey, on my Instagram, Jesse McAvoy, or on Facebook. Same thing, Jesse McAvoy.
Nice.
If you ever need a pep talk, guys, I'm a pretty good pep talk guy. So honestly, reach out. I have a lot of life experience too. So if you have any questions or anything about anything, feel free to ever shoot it my way, man.
Nice, brother.
Thanks, man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I actually want to say thanks to Glenn for having me on the podcast, man. Because this was wild. This is a really cool experience.
Dude, I'm glad. Yeah, dude. Let's go.
I love it, man.
Dude, I'm glad you had fun, man.
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it. Right on. Yeah, that's it.